If you're a lawful permanent resident, can you travel without a valid passport? I'm Erick Widman, I'm an immigration lawyer, and most permanent residents of the United States have had a valid passport at some point. In some cases, refugees and others have never had a passport, but most permanent residents and green card holders have had a valid passport from your home country that may have expired currently, or maybe you're having difficulties renewing it at your local consulate. But if you want to travel internationally, you're aware that you should typically have a valid passport from your home country that you carry with you along with your green card when you're traveling internationally. But if you can't renew your passport, or it's expired, it's lost, and you can't get a new one, can you still travel internationally? What's interesting is that according to US law, if you're a permanent resident, you don't need a valid passport to enter back into the United States following international travel. So that can be encouraging if you lost your passport abroad or you have other issues. However, for most people who are going to be traveling internationally as US permanent residents, you obviously should be concerned about the destination country because you need to get into that country and then return to the United States. So it's highly relevant. It completely matters what the rules are of your target country. And so most countries that you intend to visit do require a passport or a similar passport that's a similar document to a passport that we'll get into in just a moment. There are alternatives, but you'll want to focus on, investigate, what does the destination country require of you? What options are available otherwise too? And sometimes a visa is required for permanent residents. So in general, you should keep 3 key documents in mind if you're traveling internationally as a permanent resident: your green card, potential visa, and your passport. So if you don't have a valid passport right now, and you're having trouble getting it renewed, what are some alternatives? The main alternative that I'm alluding to is something called a reentry permit. It's an international travel document. It does a number of things for permanent residents, but it can function as a passport alternative in some countries that you need to visit. It looks in many ways like a passport. It can even receive a visa stamp in there if you need a visa to visit another country. And it can be used in many cases to get you into that country as a form of traveler's ID, a travel ID document. So that's good news if you thought otherwise that a inability to get your passport renewed or losing your passport would keep you from traveling internationally, especially during the pandemic when many family members are needing to see you and you haven't been able to see people in a long time in your home country. So in general, keep those key requirements in mind when you're traveling internationally. You typically want a valid passport. You may need a visa, and of course you need your green card, but a reentry permit is a good option, and it's something you would apply for with USCIS while you're within the United States. In some cases you can get that expedited, and there are a number of key requirements that we'll lay out in a different video too. You have to be physically present in the United States when you're applying for a reentry permit. It's on Form I-131, and you have to have biometrics done in the United States unless they're waived. Sometimes USCIS can reuse biometrics that you had submitted before. We hope this is helpful. Definitely get in touch if you have any questions, and take care.